So we're going to switch gears. That's sort of the why it's all interesting. And now we're going to talk about the credit requirements for each. Our certificate track is a 20 credit program, and you need to have a background in healthcare to be eligible for that. And our Master's of Arts degree is a 38 credit, and you don't need to have a healthcare background. So that can be a distinguisher for you. And with the Master's, there are 3 prerequisites that everyone has to complete: psychology, human physiology, and basic statistics. And if you notice on the slide, the psychology and human physiology are not time sensitive, but the statistics has to have been taken within the previous 7 years so that it is up to date. And now I'm just going to walk through some of the courses. We start everyone with these 2 courses that are part of both tracks, and that is the Introduction to Integrative Healing Practices. And we have our little tip: take it as early as you can in your degree. And first I'll just say that it will be an overview of the many types of integrative health and healing practices that are out there from a cultural perspective, from a specialty such as traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, etc. So different models of medicine perspective, and then different practices such as energy healing and etc. So that you're really well versed in the many options that our patients and clients have at this point in our evolution. The reason we tell you to take it early is 2 things. First, it will inform your coaching as you work with others. So it will give you a good overview so that when people ask you questions about an integrative healing practice, you have some kind of a foundation to work from. And the second is that there are 70 different courses offered in our center. So people often struggle with what electives to take, and this overview course often sparks some interest in specific coursework. So it can be really helpful to take it early on. The other course you'll want to take as early as possible is Introduction to Lifestyle Medicine, and it's going to give you an overview of all of those preventative and lifestyle changes people can make that are recommended to help them live a healthy life. And it is required for the board certification. Now we're going to walk through all of the courses that are required for both, and they're the core coaching courses. So we're going to walk through year 1 and 2. In year 1, we start with fundamentals of health coaching, and this is where everyone starts. It is the precursor or prerequisite for everything else. So it's the course you have to take the first fall. And it's really based on, back to what I mentioned earlier, we want you to grow and develop as your own first coaching client. So you'll do a lot of self-reflection, self-awareness, self-work, and start working some of those growth edges so you know what it feels like to bump up against those areas where you need support. And I will just add that all of these core courses have the component of an outside coach. So you will get that for each of these core courses I mentioned on this slide. The second semester in the spring will be the Fundamentals of Health Coaching 2. And in this, you move from coaching your peer or coaching yourself to coaching your peers. And you will have taken all the knowledge of your own personal growth. And by the way, in Fundamentals 1, we do give you a lot of coaching skills and techniques. So it's not lost on us that you might be wondering if you wait till now. But you take all of that work you've done with yourself and move it into peer coaching, where it's a comfortable first step forward, where your peers and you all have the same language and basic understanding, so the process is fairly easy. Then in year 2, you will move into coaching people with no experience, possibly outside community members who will get coaching with you. And you'll have 3 clients for 5 sessions a semester, and you'll have a lot of support from faculty and supervision, as well as peer support. In the same fall semester, also available is the Business of Health Coaching course. And that course is all about whether you choose to launch a project or a department in your organization that you currently work in, or a private practice. What are the business skills, techniques, savvy that you need to be successful in moving something that is as pioneering as health coaching forward? So that's what that semester is all about. And then in the spring of year 2, you will have your professional internship. And this is a big semester. You'll be out in the community 8 hours a week for 14 weeks doing a lot of coaching at a site. And we want to make sure we mention that if you live outside of the Twin Cities metro, we will help you find a locale that makes sense to you so that you're not commuting a long way once a week. And this is where we're going to kind of pick up the difference between the masters. So that first track was really what you would work through if you were either doing the master's or the certificate. And now these are the additional classes that a master's would take. So in the summer between year 1 and 2, you would insert the Coaching People with Clinical Conditions course. And as you see, it is one that also includes outside coaching. Really, the point of this course, as I mentioned earlier, is that not everyone who takes the master's has a healthcare background. And so we want to give you a great overview of the common clinical conditions, the conventional treatment people will receive in the healthcare setting, the integrative treatments that are really helpful for different clinical conditions, and to help build your empathetic awareness of what people are dealing with as they navigate life with a clinical condition. So those are the 3 components of that course. Then at some point, either in spring or summer, for 4 weeks, you will take the Mind, Body Science, and the Art of Transformation course. And this course is really about consciousness and how people evolve. And so it's obviously very important to coaching. You will also take functional nutrition, which students love this course. Consistently, we hear it year after year. It's a great look at not just our standard nutrition, but really that integrative, expanded approach to nutrition and actually getting at how do we use food as medicine. And then there's also a course on how do you get people motivated to move. It seems so obvious, right? But it's surprising how many people are not good at moving out there. And I think with all of our current distractions and things to plug into, it can be very easy to overlook physical activity. Then there also a spring course is the group coaching course, where you get to do some peer group coaching with your peers, so you learn how it is to facilitate a group, and then go out in the community for 5 weeks and do 90-minute sessions for a community site. And as you'll see, the group coaching course also includes outside coaching. And your final course at the end of all of your hard work will be the capstone project. And what you will do at that point is write up something from either your internship or group coaching setting that really spoke to you about the field of coaching, and you will write it like a manuscript for a journal. And we want to contribute to the research and advancement of the health coaching field, and this is the perfect way to get you started. And this leads to the electives, which this is where people struggle. There are often more options than they know what to do with, but we will offer that you take 6 at least, and there are areas of concentration that might help you. This is again why we encourage taking that 5101 course early, as it can help give you an overview of the many classes, because there are about 70 in the center, so it's quite a few. But some areas of concentration might be cultural healing approaches. We have a lot of different coursework on how different cultures view healing and how they might approach healing based on what their standards and treatment options are. Expanding healing practices, so there are a lot of different ways to expand what the word healing even means. Mind-body integration, so many courses that are really good for that. Creative expressions, things like art therapy, and just some principles around that. And then nature-based therapeutics, everything from equine to other nature-based therapies, and yoga and Tibetan medicine. All of them are popular. We also do offer minors through other departments, and you would coordinate that with your advisor.